Kevin Kaufman, Fred Weaver here from kevinandfred.com, and we're going to talk today about how you got to go backwards sometimes to go forwards. Now, I know there's this saying, right?
I just moonwalked backwards.
You did. You hit our really fancy background image as well. It's terrible. Anyway, there's this saying out there, sometimes you go 2 steps backwards to go 1 step forward or whatever. But what I find...
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, see, I can't even do it right. It's perfect. Because I go backwards before I go forwards all the time. But here's the deal, guys. Many of you have achieved what I would consider near the ceiling of your personal sales achievement at one time or another in your life, or you're approaching it. And what I mean by that, Kevin, is that you're a real estate agent, you're selling as many homes as you can, and you're trying to go, how do I double from here? But you're near the ceiling, right? Whether you're at 80% of the ceiling, 90%, and the only way to double would be to somehow negotiate more hours in the day, or have your entire family hate you, or stop sleeping, or...
And some of you are choosing one of those, and let me tell you, fucking stop.
Yeah, but so what I want to say to this is that many people want to build a team, and they want to build a team because they're going, the only way for me to double my personal income is to be able to break through this ceiling that I've currently created.
Right.
However, what nobody really likes to talk much about, because it's not a very sexy topic, is how you actually are going to have to go backwards in income before you get to even have the conversation about potentially doubling your income.
Well, why would I do that? I could just sell more and keep more than the money myself, right? No,
right.
But that's the thought, right? And maybe you've had it, maybe you haven't, but and don't get me wrong. Listen, everybody from stage talks about how great things are and how I built my team and I've got this top. What people talk about is top level income, right? So the total team GCI. Mm-hmm. What they don't talk about is how much they take home. And the reality is if you want to build something bigger than where you're currently at, it likely is going to require other people, which is going to require a step back. You're just going to take a step back in income. Well, that's just the way it is.
For example, you and I decided to expand our business outside of our current location several years ago, 4 years ago to be exact. And I know our desire was to make more money. That's one of the reasons we did it. Guess what we didn't do for about 2 years, though?
We didn't make more money.
We didn't actually make more money. Now, we made more money. The checks were bigger, the closings were more. And
the awards.
People were high-fiving us, and they were so excited. And so if you want to play that game, you can get credibility and all that. But guess what more didn't happen? More didn't go in our bank accounts at the end of the day. We didn't get to keep more.
We went backwards first before we started going forward in personal income, right?
Yeah, and that's what I find is that, most businesses, publicly run companies, a lot of them, in fact, publicly run companies get criticized for having... for not being cash flow positive, right? But that's because a lot of real estate agents think that you can actually start a business from day one, expand it, and be cash flow positive.
That's what they teach.
And the reality is that that's not always possible in business. If you're trying to build something big, you may find yourself having to go backwards. Let's take a person, for example, Kevin. Let's take a top producer who maybe is closing, I'm going to use the number 30, about 2 to 3 houses a month, so 30 homes a year. Now, if that person completely wanted to remove themselves from production, meaning they didn't want to go on any more appointments, they wanted to build a team and make the same amount of money or more and not have to sell any of the houses themselves, how many deals does that person need to go create before they're going to be able to do that? It's not 60, is my point. You can't just go say, I'll hire 5 agents, they'll each close 12 deals. Those 60 transactions will make me as much money or more money than I was making when I closed 30. That math doesn't work. You go figure out the expenses and the training that you spent and all the systems that you had to build and all the turnover you had and all the staff people you had to do to get those people.
How much more money you spend on leads that you weren't spending before because they're not converted as high of a rate.
Splits you're paying to those people, right, that weren't there before because you were bringing all the money in. So my point is this. I'm not trying to give you an exact equation on how to do it, but my point is that if you really want to grow, it's time to get real about the numbers. It's time to recognize that you've got to be willing to go backwards before you can go forwards if you really do want to have a big life financially. This is reality check. kevinandfred.com.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.